Howdy, Jester's World. I am Kopy, for those of you that for whatever reason are watching this but have no idea who I am. I am going to be talking to one of our two championship teams, a team that made it to the championship of our 2022 High School Jesters Improv League season, and I'm going to just have them jump on right now. Without further ado, say hi to a good fraction of Del Sol High School. Hello, whoop whoop. Now I say a good fraction because yes, that is an accurate statement, but there are three times as many than are sitting here with me right now. We'll talk about championship in a second, but I want to hear about how do we live with such a giant team? Whoever wants to volunteer and add some thoughts. What's it like to play with 30 people consistently all the time? Go ahead, Speedy.
So Del Sol, yeah, we have 35 with shirts, which is kind of where we put the rosters based on who has the shirts, which is 35 this year for Del Sol. It is the biggest team we've ever had. And we have a black box at Del Sol, and a lot of the times to get anything done, we have to split into two groups, one that goes in the black box and one that goes in like the theater classroom area, like a separate room. And we run practice that way with our leadership team running things. And there's 5 of us on there, plus like honorary Bella, a 3-year senior who helps out a lot. But yeah, we have to split up. Too many. There's just too many. And I hope we have more next year.
How about a couple of you first-year players? What's it like showing up and playing ha-has with 30 people every week? Snail, you were actually the first hand I saw. Go.
It's actually very fun. It can get like a little crowded sometimes, like with when we're doing group like practices, but it's very fun. I really like it. This being my first year at Del Sol is it's exciting. Like I really like the concept that we have a lot of people at Improv.
Yeah. Harry, what do you think?
Wow, it's crazy. It's actually really fun, actually, because sometimes when we split each other up, it's not the same people. So you get to play with different people, and that's really fun. But it's also like really weird hearing people be like, with like seniors be like, yeah, we had like 11 kids. I'm like, wow, that must have been crazy. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, in all honesty, depending on what school you're at and how many students you have as a part of your team, even smaller groups can find their place of fun and growth. Every school's different, man. Part of it is the magic of Coach Warren. The first time I saw Warren lead a group of 57, I started counting because I was like, I can't believe this. And I counted around the room, and Warren's like, let me put all 57 in a circle. And I'm like, what? I was like, really? And he just went for it, which is kind of cool. Tell me about Coach Warren. Tell me your thoughts, the man behind the mask. Ghost, you were first.
Coach Dub is great. I tell him often that he's been one of the most influential forces on my life. He could always kind of see behind the mask that I put up in school, especially freshman year. He tells a very different story of my first time in improv, because I remember hiding behind Speedy, but apparently I walked up right to him and introduced myself, and he knew immediately that I was going to enjoy myself. And he's just a very special person who I feel like never really lost the feeling of what it was like to be a kid, and I really hope he holds on to that. Fair.
Go ahead, Bella.
Well, first of all, he is bald. Just had to throw that in there. Yeah. But I was gonna say, that the one thing that like really sticks out is that he like genuinely cares about all of us improving, not only as performers, but like as people. Like he asks me, I think like every single time I see him, and also like on Remind too, like, what can I do to help you improve? Like, what can I do as a coach to like further push you? And he like remembers everyone. I remember I was almost a 4-year player. I went to improv my freshman year, and I saw everyone that was like being themselves and like being like quirky and weird, and like they had personalities, and that scared me. And so I was like, I'm too scared. I can't do this. And I remember I was there for maybe like 15 minutes and I met Warren, and then I stopped going for freshman year, and I came back sophomore year, and he completely remembered me. And he was like, oh my gosh, Isabella, you're back, and all this stuff. And I just remember being like, I met you one time. And it's because he genuinely like cares about us and wants to see us succeed as performers. And he's really taught me how to be like more confident, how to be a better performer, and like, how to be, I would say more confident and more of a public speaker. I was kind of a little shy, but now I'm definitely not. So yeah.
Anyone else walk in here the first day and just wanted to turn around and not come back like Bella? Anyone else share those feelings? Kai H. Tell me about that day. I want to know all about it.
So basically, I mainly came to improv because Ghost was one of the first seniors I met. And I remember talking to Ollie and Ghost on the first day, and I'm like, oh, I might join drama club. They're like, oh, you should come to improv. And the first time I went, I'm like, oh, this is cool. But like, it was really loud. So it took me being there a lot of the time to like get used to it. So yeah, it was like in the beginning, I wasn't sure if I was going to be 100% for it. But after going there a few times, I'm like, yeah, this is fun. This is what I want to spend my time doing.
Right. Mallory.
When I first came to improv, I was really nervous because like I was a non-theater major, because I'm still a non-theater major, but I joined this year and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. But then like I met Warren and I was like I started like seeing like what everyone's doing. I'm like, oh, okay, I like this. And that's why. And also like Warren's also like he's like a very nice coach, and like he's like improved me and like helped me like get out of my shell, because I'm starting to like talk more, because like when I started like playing the games, like I like just like not talk and like have like a lot of overthinking about what I'm doing. But now like I'm starting to like get better at it, and like he's helping me like overcome that like overthinking.
Mal, you're our only jester to ever win To Do Rap without saying it. Like, you're gonna have that asterisk next to your name forever. we're gonna always talk about that. Well, so I know that initially walking into these rooms, it can be insanely intimidating, but there's also some sort of weird gravitational pull, right? So it's almost too good to be true in a way, to where we're skeptical because of fear, but there's something that still allows us to have this investment that we get to. So now your investment has paid off in such a way to where now we get to say that Del Sol is in the championship. And I don't know how I'm very curious to hear how you all feel, because we're going from our 4-year players to a couple of brand new players, and how all these dynamics of you guys talking about how big your group is to where everyone feels as far as this journey of getting to this point. Because I'll just throw down this blanket right now. Every one of you had a piece of that. Every one of you were a part of this journey. So I'm curious, how does this feel to be here in this spot now? And I see a lot of hands, so we're just gonna go around the horn and do our best. Let's start with Harry, because you were the first that I saw.
Okay, I'm a freshman. I did not think this was gonna happen. Like from the beginning of the year, they were like, we're hosting championships. Did I know what that meant? Absolutely not. I was like, great, that sounds like something I should be excited about. What was I saying? Oh, then going on through like playoffs and stuff, being like, oh, Jessel's going really, really far. And now we're here and I'm a freshman, and getting to be like my school playing in championships as a freshman. That's crazy. This is so cool.
I agree. It's a great way of looking at it. Just very simply and pure. Mac, I saw your note. Go for it.
I'm just gonna say that it was very, even though like I kind of miss like the championship games, which I'm really upset about. it was very exciting to see like all of the different teams playing and get a taste of like the different styles of playing and different personalities, and just getting to experience like the energy was really nice to experience, and just being there. And I'm honestly super excited for the championship. I think we're gonna kill it. I mean, we have some pretty strong players on our team, so I'm pretty confident.
With how much work you guys put in, I think that's a fair feeling to share. Speedy, go ahead.
So we talked to two like first years, and I definitely feel a little bit different, I think, because I remember my freshman year. It was a playoff show against Las Vegas High School.
Okay.
I don't remember everyone who played. I know it was Avalon. I know it was Christian Cazares. I know it was Magdalena Stoyanova, and I believe Brooklyn, who was on the team at the time.
Yep.
And I remember hearing you call and advancing to the next round is Las Vegas High School. And the judges calling us on using finger guns like this. And I remember that feeling. And I was kind of like, okay, well, we have next year. And I'm going to shorten this really quickly, I promise. But the next year we had COVID, and we were supposed to host the championship show. And I remember hearing Improv done probably for the year, and then coming on a Zoom call like this with about like 50 plus kids, and you telling us, we're going to try to do something probably outdoors, but it's not looking good.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And I remember going through all that. And I remember everything that happened last year with that great group of seniors we have. And this year, starting playoffs, we had the bye, and I could feel something in my gut, or maybe my kidney, and it was tingling a little bit. And we had that really good show against Cheyenne, really fun show. And then we had this past weekend, and I could just feel an energy from especially the freshmen that were there, Lene, Snail, Bell, it felt different this year. And I keep looking at those pictures from us winning, and this one of us all, the four seniors jumping up together on stage. And no matter what happens on the 23rd at Del Sol, nothing, it's not going to change. We'll have those pictures. We'll have that moment.
Exactly. Nothing will change where you're at. Hey, random comment for you. One of those people on that Las Vegas team that you lost to your freshman year is legit famous right now. So Ashley Davidson is out in Hollywood doing some work. So if you want, I'll tell you guys all about it after this call. So here, transitioning, so you just mentioned Lene and a couple of people that were there in this past week. Lene, tell me, or did we lose Lene? Who was there this past week? Who got to see it and talk about it? Kai, tell me what you saw. Tell me what your feelings were.
Oh man. So this entire like journey leading up to this point was already just like, anxiety, because it's like, man, one little slip up and that could just mean it. Like, we're done. What was our first show? Cheyenne was our first show.
That was the first playoff show. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like already like, I could tell like halfway through it. I also got like that same like kidney sort of like feeling where I was like, ooh, I'm feeling good, right? Win that show up next week. We win 2 shows in a row. And it was like the electricity that like filled the room when everybody was like, let's go, we're going to the, like, oh my God, it was jarring. It was amazing. I love seeing our four seniors up there just like going wild, and it's working. It's so fun.
Lene, I don't know if you heard where we were just at, but we were just talking about this past week, and they mentioned you being there for it. What were your thoughts sitting there watching your team up there advance to the championship?
The whole time, I just thought it was really like impressive to watch, and kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I just really enjoyed watching it because I was like, I know them, like they're so funny, and I've been learning from them all year. And when we won, everyone like shot up, and it's hard to explain, but I just was really happy and glad that I could be a part of it and like watch.
You know what's funny? I don't know if you caught this or if you heard me say this in one of the videos, but this past weekend that we just had of the Elite Eight and Final Four, for whatever reason, it is our lowest attended weekend of the year. and all you can simply say, and it's always been this way, but all you can simply say is because the amount of schools that are eliminated by that point, what's the investment of showing up? So I get it. And then it also happens throughout the day. So I don't know if you noticed, but once you went to that Final Four matchup with Silverado, even smaller crowd. And it's just how it works, which is kind of awful. But sometimes you just get the best quality out of that day, and you just get so much fun. And I don't know, LVA I thought was very evenly matched for you. And then Silverado, like such a different team all the way around, and how well prepared they were for that. Coach Isaac and Enrique had them ready. So yeah, to be where you're at, I think something you should definitely feel good about. And now we're looking forward. Kai H.
So I was there all day this past Saturday, and I remember because I'm very close friends with Bram from LVA's team. We knew each other back in middle school. They were like my choir mom.
Oh.
And I just remember like a bittersweet feeling when LVA got eliminated, because I really wanted like Bram to advance, but I was also really happy for my school.
Right.
And like we like hugged each other afterwards. We gave each other like good jobs. Bram later on told me that they were proud that Del Sol made it to the championships. And I remember Kai's beatboxing, which surprised a lot of us.
Yeah.
We didn't know Kai could do that. And I remember there's a whole row of us during the Final Four championship game thing between Silverado, and like near the end when you were like introducing the judges, like all of us were like holding hands, just rocking back and forth, just like, could this take any longer? Because the suspense was so like tense, and like we were just like holding hands, just
making sure those scores are right is like a very pressuresome situation. So I talk as much as humanly possible during that time to fill that, because you don't want Roman to do it. You want me to do it. It's one of the only things you don't want Roman to do. Roman can do all the rest of it, but not that moment. It's gotta be me. Go ahead, Snail.
So I wasn't there for the first couple of playoff shows, but I was there for the Elite Eight and Final Four. And as soon as I went into the Elite Eight show, I was like, oh shoot, this is really fun. But it also can be like a little like nerve-wracking during the end, because you don't know who's gonna win. And then during the Final Four, I remember we all grabbed, like Kai said, we all grabbed each other's hands, and I could feel like us shaking and sweating at the same time. Like we were so nervous about what was about to happen. And then as soon as you announced it, we all like got up from our seats and we started like screaming, like cheering. And then like that emotion just that waved through the audience was just like really like exciting to me. And I felt really happy that day.
Good. I mean, that's what we hope for. I got a couple more hands. We'll go to Harry. Go ahead.
So I sadly didn't get to make it to any of the playoff shows, but I remember like kept refreshing the Jesters Instagram, being like, "Okay, did also move on? Did also move on?" And I saw us when we beat LVA, and I was like, "Okay." And then when we beat Silverado, I don't know. I was like, this is crazy, because I was like, that is insane. Freshman year, we were at championships. That's just crazy.
Go ahead, Ghost.
So our first playoffs, that there was something not so good that happened to me that very morning, and the four seniors who played kind of knew behind the scenes that I wasn't the best. I actually had thought about telling Mai that I didn't want to play and that she should play. And then there was just a part of me that's like, if we're going to lose now, if I'm going to step down now, what was the point of all of the work that we put in? I've played under worse circumstances than that. And I played anyways. And now there's like, I guess this is the third time that I have done Jesters in this specific circumstance that I'm not mentioning because it is sensitive, and still pulled through and just managed to enjoy myself nevertheless. And it almost feels like comfort in a way. And then at the LVA and the Silverado shows, LVA, I know that Speedy and one of the LVA members are very close. They're friends or rivals. And that chemistry with someone on the opposing team is very intimidating. And so my mom called me out on it. She watched me try and find a place that I could go because I didn't want to step on anyone's toes, because the three seniors have this kind of like knit together blanket type chemistry. And I don't really know where to put myself in that. And so the fun of the shows were figuring out where I could put myself to accentuate it all. And then in the Silverado show, I reconnected with an old friend, Parker from the Silverado team, was someone who I was close with my freshman year of high school. And so talking about the show, we spent like an hour on the phone after the show at like 11 o'clock at night, where I'm like, I'm so drained, but I'm still excited and pumped and just talking about it.
Yeah. You know, I put a ton of value into all of that backstage time and all of the working together and being able to meet and whatnot. And coaches will tell you one of my biggest personal pet peeves is when teams are in the back and they're not working together. That's definitely something that bugs me. So now we're looking forward to the championship here with Riffside. And you guys have a scheduled practice. Riffside and Del Sol are going to meet and work together. I know Riffside got to pull that off with Northwest for their Elite Eight matchup, which is pretty neat as well. It's one of the only sports where you can't really do that. the 49ers and the Raiders can't get together and really, I mean, not really, at least. So that's something that we get to do because it's only going to add to it. So exactly what you just described, Ghost, is why. It's only going to help. It's only going to make everything that we're trying to do up there even better. And that's the goal, is put on the best show humanly possible. Go ahead, Speedy.
I wanted to mention about the Silverado specifically. I will think about LVA, but the Silverado thing specifically that I don't think any of us have brought up. Me, Ghost, and I do believe Parker said it was his also. All of us did our first ever improv show on a stage. The three of us were all together. It was a joint showcase at Silverado. The three of us, it was our freshman year. And he's the other 4-year senior on Silverado. He's tall,
Nathan?
blonde. Nathan, he was also there. The four of us did our first ever show together. And that day we went and we did the showcase, and I went on a date beforehand, and she came to the show, and by chance it has worked out that she has come to every show I have done since that day. And so realizing that we were going to play Silverado to go to a championship my senior year with one of those kids there was so surreal, in a weird, like, everything coming full circle moment for me. And I thought that was crazy that us 4 seniors at the 2 final schools in the East had that moment together as freshmen who didn't know what we were doing. Also, me and Elliot hate each other, just so everyone knows. Me and Elliot of LUVA hate each other. We always will, always have.
So I'm gonna bring this interview kind of home here for a second. Championship Day, April 23rd at Del Sol. There's a lot of things happening in relation to you guys, all coincidental with the fact that you're hosting. So hosts are picked months before we get to this point. So this is not a typical sports scenario where the team with the winning record hosts kind of thing. That's not where we are. This was selected a long time before this. Which is neat because it's been a long time since we've had a host at Del Sol, host day. So that's also another neat side of this. You're gonna be able to watch Coach Warren in that coach's show. So him make a fool of himself. So please watch Coach Warren. You'll be able to see Bella in that all-star show. Then we've got awards right there in the middle where someone's gonna cry. I'm not sure who. And then of course we've got your championship to cap out that day. Maybe one or two comments on just that particular day, what you're looking forward to. Any parting words you want to throw out there to Riffside, because Riffside's going to do one of these interviews as well. Anyone want to give any parting wisdom before we call it a day? Ghost, you were the first hand. Go ahead.
As far as like championship day, my favorite part of championship day has always been the coaches show. Because I never get to see like these people who I look up to so much, and they are like our improv gods, and then they step on stage and oh my gosh, that is something I do, or oh my gosh, that's a joke that I would make. As far as like a message to Riffside, I just want to say, no matter what anyone else tells you, no matter what kind of fear you might face on the outside world, when you step into Del Sol, when you step onto our stage, we don't care. We want to put on a good show. We want to put on a good show. And that's all we're going to do. We love you.
Oh, I'm muted. Uh-oh, my mic's coming in right at the end. We'll let my mic come in. Any parting words for Riffside or what you're looking forward to for championship? We got more hands. Kai H, go for it.
So I'm really excited for championship day, even though I can't like stay for all of it because I have a performance later that day. I'm definitely excited to like at least see the first half of it and the coaches show. But as a parting words for Riffside, just once you're at Del Sol, you realize we don't really care what you do. We don't care as long as you're like a nice person. We don't really care about how you play or what you do. We don't judge. And honestly, Riffside seems like a bunch of like cool individuals, and we just want to make you feel like at home and just as comfortable as you can. So no matter who wins, just we respect you, and yeah, we wish you the best of luck.
My, come in. Come show your face. We're just wrapping up the interview, but I'm glad you're here. We're basically doing a send-off here to say what you're looking forward to for championship, or any type of parting words you want to say for Riffside, because we're gonna wrap this up. Bella, you're the next hand. Go for it.
I just want to say that personally, Riffside has always been one of my favorite teams to watch. Like throughout the whole season, preseason, and during playoffs, I was always sitting in like the back, like wheezing, laughing so hard, watching all of those performers. Like the way that they are so comfortable with each other, it's just so amazing to watch their chemistry. And most of them I've met, and so like I know them. And as people, they are so incredibly funny. And for the people I haven't met, I just like, if you're anything like the rest of your team, like they're so funny, and they have these big warm personalities that just are so friendly and like magnetizing. And yeah, I just have to say that they're like one of my favorite teams. I've always watched them, loved watching them, and they're just great people behind being amazing improvers. And I'm just like honored to like get to play against them and play with them. And yeah, we love them. Everyone at Del Sol loves them. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Maybe we'll wrap it there. Del Sol, thank you. You got a lot to look forward to. We anticipate to have 1,000 people in that theater, so that's against regulations. So figure that out. You're the host school. That's on you. So if you all bring 50 of your closest friends, it will work just fine. All right, Del Sol, break legs. Championship show April 23rd. We will see you all soon.